The attorney's office sat near the edge of a small mountain town, half a block past the diner my grandfather used to stop at every Sunday morning. I got there early. The waiting room smelled like old books and burnt coffee. Through the window, the mountains sat heavy and gray under a low sky that felt like it was holding something back. My grandmother had lived in this town for close to 4 decades. The inn she ran was about 20 minutes up the road, tucked behind a ridge of pine trees. Nothing fancy, but people found it anyway. Hikers, families, and people who just needed a few days away from their real lives. When I was 20, it became the only place that felt like home. That was the year my parents made it clear I wasn't welcome anymore. There was no single argument, no big scene. It happened the way most slow things do. Conversations about the direction my life was going, the work I wanted to do, the people I chose to be around. Over time, those conversations stopped feeling like concern and started feeling like judgment. One evening, my father said something short and quiet. If this was the life I was going to live, I'd be living it somewhere else. So I left. My grandmother was waiting at the bus station 3 hours later. She didn't ask what happened. She made tea, showed me to a room, and let me breathe. I stayed through almost a full year. Then I moved to the city, figured things out slowly, and came back to visit when I could. My parents never came at all, which is why it caught me off guard when the office door opened and they walked in. They looked older. My father's face had changed in ways that were hard to name. My mother moved more carefully than she used to. But what surprised me more was how settled they seemed, like they had every right to be there. My father noticed me first. "Well," he said, smiling a little, "here you are." My mother nodded. "We figured you'd make the trip." I didn't say anything. I just watched them take their seats on the other side of the room. A few minutes later, the attorney brought us all inside. The office was simple: a desk, 3 chairs, a tall window looking out toward the tree line. My parents sat down like people who had done this before. My father leaned back and folded his hands in his lap. "That inn of hers," he said, looking toward the window, "quite a piece of property." The attorney opened a folder but didn't start yet. My mother glanced at me. "It really could be something," she said. "We were talking on the drive up. With the right updates, the right approach, it could become a real family project." She said the word the way you'd say it if the years in between hadn't happened. My father nodded. "Tourism around here has only grown. The bones are already there." I listened without responding. What I felt wasn't anger. It was something harder to place, like watching 2 people walk into the middle of a conversation and skip over everything that came before. The attorney started reading. Most of the will came as a surprise to me. My grandmother had left money to the town library, the fire station, and the woman who had been baking bread for the inn since before I was born. She'd set aside small amounts for 2 people who had helped look after the property over the years. Each one revealed something about the quiet, deliberate life she had built here. Then the attorney turned to the last page. "The primary asset," he said, "the inn and the surrounding land." My parents leaned in slightly. "The property is to pass entirely to my grandchild." No one spoke for a moment. Then my father nodded, adjusting. "Well," he said, "that's reasonable, and we can all figure out next steps together from there." My mother smiled. "Of course, we're family." The attorney kept his expression even. He continued reading. "There is, however, a final condition." The room got very still. My father's smile didn't disappear, but something in it shifted. The attorney read slowly. "The property could not be transferred, sold, or placed into any form of shared ownership with any person who had previously cut ties with the inheritor." The words settled before they registered. My mother inhaled. "What exactly does that mean?" The attorney looked up. "It means the property must remain solely under the inheritor's control if any family member previously disowned or removed them from the family." No one moved. The silence had a particular weight to it. "That's very specific language," my father said. "Yes," the attorney replied. "She was very clear when she put it in writing." My mother looked at the table. "So we couldn't?" She stopped. "No shared arrangements," the attorney confirmed. "No partnerships of any kind." It landed the way something lands when there's no arguing with it. Not a confrontation, just a decision made years earlier by someone who had been watching. My father sat back slowly. "She planned for this," he said. It wasn't really a question. I didn't answer, because the truth was, she probably had. My grandmother had never said a single critical word about my parents in all the years I knew her. Not once, but she had always been paying attention.
The meeting wrapped up not long after. Outside, the air was colder and sharper than it had seemed earlier. My parents stood next to their car, not quite sure where to look. My father glanced up the road, toward the ridge where the inn sat somewhere beyond the trees. "Well," he said finally, "you've got a lot to think about." I nodded. Then I walked to my car, not in a hurry, just steadily. The road up to the inn curved into the forest. It was the same road my grandmother had come down years ago when she drove to pick me up. Standing at it now, the inheritance didn't feel like land or money. It felt like a message, a quiet one, written in her careful hand that had just now been delivered.